So we're going to get our camper ready for the upcoming season. If you look at these pictures here, you'll see where we actually just already made up the bed for the year. We've went ahead and put a mattress protector on, and we put a sheet and a top sheet and a blanket, and then a bedspread on the camper there, or actually on the bed. And if you notice, in our earlier videos we showed you where we turned around and didn't have our head at the far end. We had it on the south end, but we decided to go back and try it this way, because on the outside here, like I say, what we're going to do now is I'm going to take and scrub the outside just a little bit. It's been out here all winter, and our neighbors, as you can look over there now, you can see they actually heat with wood smoke or wood fireplace for the most part. And I'm not sure if that's it or it's just air, the dirty air. It gets a grime on the outside of the camper over the winter. So you'll see right here on the front, see there's like a stripe right there where it runs off the gutter. Then in the front side you'll see all these little streaks. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's real streaky on the front. And so we're going to scrub that off, get some of the grime off. We're going to check the air in our tires on the outside. We're going to do a few things on the inside. I'll go in there and show you that here in a little bit. But for right now, we're going to scrub this up on the outside. Now, I'm sure there's other people will recommend different ways of cleaning this up. I'll just do it kind of how I do my vehicles. I basically have like 3 squirts of dish soap in my rags here, and I'll put water in there and it'll suds up. It's not a lot of soap, but it's enough to break any little bit of grime off of anything. And at some point, maybe this midsummer, I'll wax the whole thing. And whatever wax you guys use, you might want to put that in my comments, because I'm new to that, so I would like to try some kind. I've heard people use the ceramic waxes, but put that in the comments what you use, and I may try some of that out. I've been just using regular car wax on places that I've actually waxed the front cap here because of the bugs that get on it. So let me know what you use, and we'll give it a try. One of the main things you want to do when you're washing in a car or anything, make sure you get all your soap off. If you don't, then you've done more damage than if you had not washed it at all, because you have acids and alkalines that build up, and if you don't have that rinsed off really well, you can actually cause corrosion. So always give it a good rinse. Go over it several times, and should be in good shape. So we got that pretty clean. Like I say, just to get some of the winter dirt off of it. We'll have to clean it throughout the season as well. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, we're not de-winterizing this camper yet. And some people say that this shouldn't be done until we de-winterize it. But I'm going to go ahead and put the anode probe back into the water heater, tighten it down. I won't leak check it now, pressurize any of the water, and we're going to leave everything in with antifreeze in it. So our plan here is just to put this in. I just don't want to have that open when we're traveling. And then, like I say, we'll do a de-winterization probably in early April, and we'll show you a video then of how I did that. But we'll do a pressure check and a leak check on that when we do that. But we're going to put this in now. So a lot of people, when they see these looking so rough, they think it needs to be replaced. Some people replace them every year. Truth be told, as long as it's in pretty good shape and not big chunks falling out of it, you can continue to use this. I'm going to use it for at least one more season, and we'll check it next year. It'll eventually get down to a little thin wire. At that point, you need to replace it. But right now, it seems like it's doing well, and we'll probably get another year out of it. Now as far as the torque on that, you don't want to tighten it much. I'm not going to do the full torque on it today because I'm not actually sure what the value is. I'll have to look that up, but I know it's not much. I just basically hand tightened it and just gave it a little bit with my ratchet, just snug it a little bit. But we'll do a torque on that when we do our de-winterization here in another couple weeks. Now I'm checking the tire pressure. If you look on these tires that I have the Westlakes. It says 50 psi cold. That means it hasn't been driving around. And it also depends on what temperature it is today. It's almost up to 70 here, so it's going to end up being pretty close to that 50 psi. I checked it and we're just a little bit low, about 48. And what you got to be careful with is these most come from the factory filled with nitrogen. So if you don't want that tire pressure to change a lot, then you want to find someone that'll service it with nitrogen, because what happens with nitrogen is it doesn't fluctuate a lot with the hot and the cold. So it's good to keep that in there if you want to add air to it. But if you add normal air to this, then you're defeating the purpose of that nitrogen in your tire. It's nothing wrong with that. It'll start fluctuating more with the hot and the cold weather. So just something to keep in mind. I'll probably just top mine off with air when I think I need to add some. Right now we're doing pretty close to where it needs to be, so I'm just gonna leave them alone. But when I do add, I think I will just put plain air in there, and probably won't maintain the nitrogen, because I've only have one place in town that I know that even keeps it in stock. See, that one is a little low at 45, so we might add a little air to that one. So I've already added my paper towels, which I just put in here for now. We'll take those down when we go camping, but I just got them up there because we'll be using them getting prepped for camping. And I've got paper towels stocked in here. All my paper products I've gone ahead and brought in here. Got my toilet paper loaded up in the bathroom. Any of my household stuff, kind of loaded it up with like the towels and things. Pretty much it's loaded up ready for camping for this season. I didn't have any trouble with mice this last year because I kept most of the stuff out of here. And we've even loaded up our medicine cabinet with deodorant and things like that. Some people might not want to keep that in there all the time because of melting, maybe gets hot. But we keep most of it in there. Even added a few food items into the food area. We haven't put our clothes in. We'll wait until we get ready for our camping trip to put our clothes in here. But we're pretty well set up. And if you saw one of my videos where I made the new spice rack here, it's the deep rack. We've made this little setup here where it can just go inside. Sits inside like that. That way we can pull the whole rack out if we want. These are a little taller. These here, so hopefully they'll sit in here and kind of keep that from wobbling around. And works out pretty good. I guess you could use that drawer for something else, but we've got a lot of spices, and so it seems like it works out good. And it has a little bit of extra room in the front here, maybe if we want to put a spatula or something up in the front. But we're pretty happy with that. Now our refrigerator, we stored it with the door open. We've got the Arm & Hammer in the doorway just to keep it somewhat fresh. And you go inside of here, we did have a damp rid, and you can see that thing is over half full there. I would take that down, but it still may be a week or two before we get on our trip, so I'm going to leave that up right up to the last minute. We get ready to take that first trip, we're going to go ahead and take that down and throw it away. Now, like I said before, our first thought is our first camping trip we're going out for one day. I have an idea where we're going to go. It's going to have electric, and it's going to have a place where we can dump. So what we're going to do is we're not going to put water in here until the first or second week in April. But we are going to use this commode. We're going to end up using the 1 gallon jug flush method. We'll do our business, take a gallon jug, flush it in there, let it go down, and then when we're done with that camping trip, we'll dump the black water tank, and we'll add a little bit of more antifreeze back in for the next couple weeks. So in conclusion, this is kind of what we do to get ready to go camping for the coming season. Ours is pretty simple because we're parked right here in the driveway, This might be a little more complicated if you have to go to a storage area and get your camper, or bring it home, or take it out to the storage area. But in our case, we just get this together like this in the driveway, and if we forget something, we know what to do. We're right here in the driveway and can do it. And so we are pretty much prepped to go on our first trip, and we're hoping to do that in the next couple of weeks. So hang with us, and we'll try to get a video of that. And if you have any questions on what we did to get prepped for the coming season, leave it in the comments.